Hi, friends. I am just looking at these. Hi, Ruby 24 Runwright Reads Girly is in the house. Hello to you too. I'm looking at some of these best of 2025 book lists. I know today's November 17th. It is 2:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are here in New York City. Ruby 24 Runwright Reads Girly is in Slovakia. She is 5 hours ahead. Am I correct? Guessing it is 7:45 where you are right now. Am I right? Am I wrong? Let me know in the comments down below where you are, what time it is. Today is Monday, 8:45. Okay, so you're 6 hours ahead. 6 hours. Almost got it right. We are here looking at some book lists. So the New York Times published a list in October of the best books of 2025 so far. I do not have the New York Times online subscription, so I don't have the list from the New York Times, but I was just looking at a library kind of reprinted it. So I'm just looking at some of the books that were on the list thus far and seeing how many of them I've read or own and need to read. Yikes. Yikes. Some of these are books that I have. Some of these are books that I have. Okay, so it was reprinted by a library, 14 Pima County Public Library. Sorry, I'm just getting myself together. Best books of 2025. Some of these lists are best books. Some of them are best selling books. Is that one of the same? We're looking for the best books of 2025 from the New York Times. New York Times bestsellers. No, that's not what we want. Do we want bestsellers or best books? Hi, Sharon. Welcome. We are trying to figure things out. We have a package to unbox. This is not going to just be me scrolling through my phone. I'm looking for the best books of 2025, according to the New York Times. Best books of 2025. But the list is hidden behind a paywall, and I do not have a subscription. Okay. Here is... Oh, Financial Times put out a list today. The best books of the year 2025. We're going to ignore best books of 2025 business, classical and pop music, art, architecture and design, audio, crime and thrillers. Well, it's just like regular regular fiction. Okay. Okay. This is a fail. I'm just looking at ads. Just ads. Okay. Time magazine put out a list. Ruby says 5 more days. 5 more days until her birthday. Happy birthday, Ruby 24 when I read this girly. Okay, Book Riot. Book Riot shared a newsletter, shared an article on Thursday. The 100 best books of 2025, according to Time magazine. We're going to count them down. Here we go. Here we go. Mm. 100 must-read books of 2025. Let me know if you've read them. Let's do a count. I'm going to check off on my handy-dandy sheet of paper how many of these books I have read thus far. And you can count as well. Let me know how you're doing. She says, don't say that now because it's in 5 days. Okay, happy early birthday. Happy birth week. Happy birth week to you. Hi, my cozy little library. We are looking at Time magazine published 100 must-read books of 2025. I'm just going to go through and make a little tally and tell you how many of the books I've read, and you could tell me how many of them you've read as well. Or, if you would rather check off the books that you want to read. Okay. First is All That We See or Seem by Ken Liu. I don't know. All the Way to the River by Elizabeth Gilbert. I haven't read anything. I haven't read this book. Last week I was telling you about a couple of her books that I have read and enjoyed, including Eat, Pray, Love, which I loved. Loved the book, loved the movie adaptation. Julia Roberts, Javier Bardem. Is it Julia Roberts? Why do I feel now like it wasn't Julia Roberts? I don't remember. Javier Bardem is in that movie. I remember that. Anyway, her other book that I loved was Big Magic. Love that book. She has a novel. Is this a novel? No, it's not a novel. It is, I think it's nonfiction, All the Way to the River by Elizabeth Gilbert. I haven't read it. All of that to say I haven't read it. The Antidote by Karen Russell, who's the author, I think, of Swamplandia. I haven't read that either. Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, I have not read. Audition by Katie Kitamura, I have not read. Bad Girl by Gish Jen, I have not read. So the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books, 0. My score is still at 0. Baldwin by Nicholas Boggs, which I think is a discussion of James Baldwin's life and career. I have not read. Black and Blues by Imani Perry was making the rounds in the summer, and I wanted to read it, but I haven't yet. Black and Blues, I haven't read. Bowl and Trader by Philippa Gregory. The Bowl and Trader. No, I haven't read that. Margaret Atwood has a memoir called Book of Lives. I haven't read. The Book of Records by Madeline Tien. I haven't read. Bread of Angels by Patti Smith. I haven't read. So that's the first 12. I haven't read any yet. This is not going well. Maybe this is not such a great exercise to start off the live. The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. I have not read. Careless People by Sarah Wynne Williams. Still no. The Catch by Irsa Daly Ward. Still no. Claire McCardell by Elizabeth Evitz Dickinson. The Designer Who Set Women Free. Claire McCardell. Nonfiction. I haven't read. The Colonel and the King by Peter Guralnick. I haven't read. Crush by Ada Calhoun. That's a novel. I haven't read. Cursed Daughters by Oyinkan Brathwaite. I haven't read, but to be fair, that was a brand new release. I haven't gotten a chance to get my hands on it yet. Dead and Alive by Zadie Smith. Zadie Smith's mother is Jamaican, So Zadie Smith is on my list of children of the Caribbean who I want to read more of their works. We read her novel White Teeth for the Runwright Reads Book Club some months ago and really, really enjoyed that. Um, and I've seen Zadie Smith. I've met her in person at a book signing. She had a essay collection come out, and I went to see her at Barnes and Noble. But no, I haven't read Dead and Alive. Dead Money by Jacob Kerr, I have not read. Death of the Author by Nadi Okorafor, I haven't read. The Dream Hotel by Leila Slimani? Leila Lalami. Different person. Leila Lalami. The Dream Hotel, I haven't read. The Dry Season by Melissa Phoebos, I have not read. There are 100 books on the list, Sharon. Sharon is asking how many books on the list. Maybe we have time. There are 100 books on the list. It's not numbered, but I'm probably at 20 something. I haven't read any of these yet. I've been trying to catch up on books, but it seems like I haven't been reading the newest books at all. The Edge of Water by Olafunke Grace Bankole, I have not read. The Emperor of Gladness by Ocean Vuong, I have not read. Flashlight by Susan Choi, I have not read. I know that was shortlisted for the Booker Prize. Didn't get there yet. Sharon, you've read Dream Hotel. Recommendations? Yeah, my score is still 0. A Flower Traveled in My Blood by Haley Cohen Gilliland. I haven't read. Forest Euphoria by Patricia Ononiwo Kaishian. I haven't read. Gemini by Jeffrey Kluger. I haven't read. Ginkgo Season by Naomi Shu Elegant. I haven't read. Girl on Girl by Sophie Gilbert. I have not read. There's a book that I have read. Good Dirt by Charmaine Wilkerson. I have read. Was gifted to me by the publishers either early this year or late last year, and I read it. Finally. We finally have one. I'm gonna write my mark very large. One book down. Good Dirt by Charmaine Wilkerson. And I really enjoyed that book. High recommendations. We read it. No. Charmaine Wilkerson is also the author of Black Cake, which we did read for the Runwright Reads Book Club because Charmaine Wilkerson is a daughter of Jamaica. But Good Dirt I also read and really, really enjoyed it. It is art and family saga and lots of generations of Black history in the United States, and a little bit about grief and how people deal with grief, whether they can move on or whether grief can help them maybe appreciate life better. It was an excellent read. Yep, good Dirt, loved it. Sharon says she loved it. Then the next book on the list is Good Girl by Aria Aber. I have not read. Great Black Hope by Rob Franklin. I have not read. A Guardian and a Thief by Megha Majumdar, I think, is another pretty relatively new release. I have not yet read it, but it's on my TBR. Gwyneth by Amy Odell, I haven't read. Heart the Lover by Lily King, I haven't read. Hostage by Eli Sharabi, that's a no. Haven't gotten to that yet. Haven't seen that book. I feel like I should have seen that book. Eli Sharabi. Hostage. The Hounding by Zenobi Purvis, I haven't read. The Idea of an Entire Life by Billy Ray Belcourt, I haven't read. I'll Tell You When I'm Home by Hala Alian, I haven't read. Is a River Alive by Robert McFarlane. I saw that in the library last week and I picked it up because I'm interested in reading more from Robert McFarlane, but I haven't read that yet. Very, very good science/nature writer, very captivating writing. I have read a couple of his books and really enjoyed them. So when I saw that he had a new book out, I was very intrigued. So this is a River Alive. Haven't gotten to it yet. Isola by Allegra Goodman. I have a copy on my physical TBR. I haven't yet read it though. I Want to Burn This Place Down by Maurice Kreisman. I Want to Burn This Place Down. And on the cover of the book is a little book of matches, and the book is open. Haven't read that yet. Joyride by Susan Orlean. I haven't read. Catabasis by R.F. Kwong. I haven't yet read. Catabasis? Catabasis? How do you pronounce that? King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby. I haven't read. I actually haven't read anything by S.A. Cosby. So anyone who is an S.A. Cosby fan who wants to tell me what to start with, should I go in order of publication or should I read S.A. Cosby's most latest work, which I think is King of Ashes? Should I start there and go back? Because I do want to experience the writing. I have heard really great things about S.A. Cosby's books. A Language of Limbs by Dylan Hardcastle. No. The Loneliness of Sonia and Sunny by Kiran Desai. I'm still reading. I'm still reading. I am a week and a half into reading the book. It's just I'm reading a couple of other things and I'm not making the progress on this book that I thought I would. I'm going to have to step it up. So I'm going to mark The Loneliness of Sonia and Sunny because it's my current read and because my numbers otherwise are just terrible. So The Loneliness of Sonia and Sunny by Kiran Desai, I'm going to mark, even though it is in progress, because I will continue. I will finish. I have until the end of the year to finish it because it's on my read 10 before the end. I keep forgetting the name of the challenge. It's on that list, so I have to read it. Lonely Crowds by Stephanie Wambugo. I have not read. Maggie, or A Man and a Woman Walk into a Bar by Katie. I have not read. I like the title though, because that joke that starts a man walks into a bar, a horse walks into a bar. It was also the title. A Horse Walks into a Bar was the title of this book, this novel by David Grossman, which won the International Booker Prize, I think it was, a few years ago. David Grossman was born in Jerusalem, yeah. And novel was translated from Israeli. Yeah. So, yeah, A Horse Walks into a Bar is the title of this book. This one is Maggie, or A Man and a Woman Walk into a Bar by Katie. So I like when titles have little curiosities and characteristics in them. Ron Chernow has a new book called Mark Twain. It's about Mark Twain. Spoiler alert. I haven't yet read it though. A Marriage at Sea by Sophie Elmhurst. I have not yet read. We are down to the M's. I only have 2, and one of those is a half. The Martians by David Barron. I haven't read. Mercy by Joan Silber. No. Moderation by Elaine Castillo. No. Mother Mary Comes to Me by Arundhati Roy. I haven't yet read. My Documents by Kevin Wynne. I'm embarrassed to say I haven't read it yet. I own a copy. The publishers had sent it to me earlier this year. I haven't gotten to it yet. I was tidying up my book cart this morning and I saw it because it's in my book cart, still waiting for me to read it. And no, I haven't yet read it. Nothing More of This Land, but I'm happy to see it on this list because I'm glad that other people have been reading it. Nothing More of This Land by Joseph Lee is nonfiction. It is community power and the search for Indigenous identity. Joseph Lee. That would be a good book to read right around now. I haven't read it though. One Day, Everyone Will Have Always Been God. I like that title, but I haven't yet read it. An Oral History of Atlantis by Ed Park. I haven't read. Oh Sinners by Nicole Coffey. I haven't read. Claire McIntosh has a new book called Other People's Houses. I haven't read. Palaver by Brian Washington. That's the author of Memorial, right? I haven't read it yet. Pan by Michael Clune. I haven't read. People Like Us by Jason Mott. I really enjoyed his book, Hell of a Book. I haven't yet read this one. Pick a Color by Suvam Tamavangsa. I hope I'm saying that right. I haven't heard about this book before or this author's name. And let's see, what's it subtitled? Is it subtitled? It's a novel by the author of How to Pronounce Knife. Okay, that's that author. Primordial by May Dervang. I have not read. The Quiet Air by Raymond Antrobus. I haven't read. Raising Hair by Chloe Dalton. I haven't read. Replaceable You by Mary Roach. Adventures in Human Anatomy. I haven't read. Kevin Wilson has a book called Run for the Hills. Kevin Wilson is the author of Nothing to See Here, which I think I gave it away. I had a copy of that book. I read that book. It was about a family, and I don't know. There was something about the book that was a little sad. Like, it was sad how the family members related to each other, and I just remember that as my thing about the book. And it had the most inviting cover. And I feel very similarly about this cover. I don't know if you could see it. Can I put it up here? You can see. Okay, there we go. It's a like, a cartoon, like a comic drawing of a little bit of a landscape scene, and the family is all piled, or yeah, it looks like a family. They're all piled into this red car, and there's a chicken running behind the car, and it looks very inviting. I don't know. Maybe I should go and see how I get on with this book. I don't know. Uh, Let me see. If you've read this one, anything from this author, let me know. Run for the Hills by Kevin Wilson. So no, I haven't read it. Saving Five by Amanda Wynn. I have not read. Scorched Earth by Tiana Clark. I haven't read. Shadow Ticket by Thomas Pynchon. I haven't read. Sky Daddy by Kate Folk. I have not read. I think I have a copy. Somebody is Walking on Your Grave by Mariana Enriquez. I haven't read. I've read a couple of her books. She writes usually short stories. Is this short stories? Kind of horror genre. And the first one, yeah, the first one that I read from her, Everything We Lost in the Fire, I think is what it was called. And or Things We Lost in the Fire. I think it was Things We Lost in the Fire. And it was that book kind of at least one of the stories, but maybe more of the stories, kind of traumatized me. The book was really well written. It just wasn't my usual genre. And then I read something else from her. I think it was called The Dangers of Smoking in Bed. And I realized then that I just was not able to enjoy that genre as much as I probably thought I could. I like the literary quality of the writing, but the horror, it was just a little, it was too well written for me. So I said, I don't think I could read. I don't think I could read her stories. But she has a new book out called Somebody's Walking on Your Grave, and it's subtitled My Cemetery Journeys, Mariana Enriquez. She writes in Spanish, I think. So the book is translated by Megan McDowell. But I haven't read it. Other books on this list: The South by Tash Aw. I'm not even going to say I haven't read, because I haven't read most of these books. We are close to the end. I've only read one and a half. Stay Dead by Natalie Shapiro. Strangers in the Land by Michael Liu. This is subtitled Exclusion, Belonging, and the Epic Story of the Chinese in America. A subject that I have been really been really happy to have read about. Um, but I haven't read this one. It's by Michael Liu. Sweet Heat by Bolu Babalola. Bolu Babalola is the author of Honey and Spice, and I haven't read this. It's her new release. The Tell by Amy Griffin is a memoir that I own, and I think I started reading, but I didn't finish. So I'm gonna have to probably try to finish that up. It would have been good if I had done that yesterday, so I could have marked another one on this list, but I didn't. Theft by Abdul Razak Gurna, I haven't read. These Summer Storms by Sarah McLean, another book that I started in the summer and didn't finish. Things in Nature Merely Grow by Yi Yun Lee. Um, yeah. Mm. Yi Yun Lee is an author that I read, and I read a book that she wrote that had been nominated for the BookTube Prize couple of years ago, no, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And it was about her son that she had lost to suicide. And it was the most profoundly sad book that I think it was possible to write. And then somehow she had that same thing happen to her again. So clicking on the book tells us this. In 2017, Yi Yun Lee's 16-year-old son Vincent died by suicide. Nearly 7 years later, his younger brother James, then 19, also took his own life. With her second memoir, Lee examines the unfathomable pain of losing both her children and does so on her own terms. Things in Nature Merely Grow, she writes, is not about grieving or mourning, words she refuses to use when describing her own anguish. Instead, it is a work of radical acceptance written from an abyss where I shall be for the rest of my life. I am happy that she has the strength to write that book, but I can't imagine what the experience of reading that book is. So, Things in Nature Merely Grow by Yi Yun Lee is on that list. The Three Lives of Kate K by Kate Fagan, I haven't read. Tilt by Emma Patty, I haven't read. To Smithereens by Rosalind Drexler, I haven't read. The Trouble of Color by Martha S. Jones, subtitled An American Family Memoir, I haven't read yet. A Truce is Not Worth Peace is a new novel by Miriam Taves. I have not read, but I like her books, so I will try to see if I can get a copy of that. The True Story of Raja the Gullible by Rabi Alameddin, I haven't read. Vera or Faith by Gary Shinengard, is that how you pronounce his name? Victorian Psycho by Virginia Fato. We Do Not Part by Han Kang. And Where Are You Really From by Elaine Chow. I have not read. Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey. I have not read. The Wilderness by Angela Flournoy. I haven't read. The Zorg by Siddhartha Kara. I haven't read. And 1929 by Andrew Ross Sorkin, subtitled Inside the Greatest Crash in Wall Street History and How It Shattered a Nation. I haven't read. This is the author of Too Big to Fail. I haven't read. So that's 100 books. I've read one, and I'm in process of reading a second one. This is terrible. I'm going to have to come off the live because I'm clearly not qualified to speak to you about books. But before I come off the live, let's see what's in the box. Ruby24 Runwright Girly, are you back? Because we are going to have to head out. This year has been one for the books. I I clearly haven't read all the things that I wanted to read. I haven't been able to read all the things that I wanted to read. My reading goals from the beginning of the year to now have changed drastically because my goals, my life has changed drastically in ways that I never thought were coming anytime soon. So my goals, my targets, my perspective on a lot of things have changed. Um, a lot of the books that have come to me in the last few months, some of them are books that touch on topics that I just don't feel ready to read. Um, I was reading a book. I was actually reading a book in August that I had to abandon because it was a subject that was just too close to what I was actually dealing with in my real life. And it is a book that I, wanted to read for a lot of reasons and just couldn't. So, um, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard sometimes to know before you pick up a book what the book is going to be about, especially when you read like I do, which is that I don't want to read a book synopsis before I pick up the book to start reading. If I pick up a book synopsis, like I'm not going to read this book anytime soon. I read it several years ago. If I reread it, because I remember not loving it, and I would like to give this book, which is an important book, won the Booker Prize. It is by an author who I think has a lot to say. It's a book that I would want to reread. I'd like to love it. I'd like to love every book that I read. I really would. Um, which is I try to be selective about the books. But if I was going to reread this book today or tomorrow, I would not read the synopsis. I wouldn't go further than like the first line in the synopsis because I don't want to know what the book is about too much. However, it's risky because when you actually do start reading the book, then you don't know what to expect. Then you don't know if it's going to be something that you can't read or don't want to read right now. So there's that. There's that. Um, there's that. So I have a few books. I have a few books around, and I'm just going to do everything I can to try to read some of them a little faster because I want to whittle down some of these lists. I do want to accomplish at least some of my goals. Some of my goals. Not all, clearly, not all. Let me turn this down because I'm getting a lot of notifications. Anyway, the publisher sent me some books. And I feel like it's some books because all right, I did the preliminary. I'm not going to open it yet. Roomy 24, Runwright Reese, girlie, we're waiting on you. I'm going to read something. Oh, before I read something, I must tell you what I was doing yesterday. My friend Peter, who is from Comfy Cozy Up. If you're not familiar with Comfy Cozy Up's channel, go check her out. She is very, very creative. She does a lot of reading, a lot of book reviews. She reads widely. She did a discussion of the Booker Prize announcement recently. She read some of the books that had been nominated, and she did a reaction to the announcement, which I thought was really interesting. Speaking of Booker Prize announcements, if you haven't already gone to watch Eric Carl Anderson's channel, go watch him. He did a fantastic video about the Booker Prize announcement, the books that were nominated, and his experience attending the Booker Prize announcement event. I look forward to his video about that every year. And I hadn't gotten a chance to watch it before, but I watched it over the weekend or sometime late last week. And it's fantastic. So go watch it. Eric Carl Anderson, Carl with a K. His channel used to be called Lonesome Reader, but I think it's just his name now. So if you haven't already gone to see that, go see it. But I was saying Peter from Comfy Cozy Up also does a reaction. Hers was a reaction of the reaction to the video and the announcement, like most of us have, whereas Eric was actually at the event in person. Peta from Comfy Cozy Up. She's extremely creative. She's my co-host for Caribathon, which we host in June. But she also hosts throughout the year several times a journaling challenge. One is going on right now. She hosts it on Instagram. And she also announced it on her blog, which is comfycozyup.com, and her YouTube channel, which is Comfy Cozy Up as well. So she's Comfy Cozy Up everywhere. She's on TikTok, everywhere. So she has a challenge throughout the month of November where we're doing journaling. And yesterday, on Sunday, she hosted a workshop where if you were interested, you could participate. And she showed us how to make our own homemade journals. And I am so, so proud of the journal that I started to make. I'm not finished just because I want to do something a little different with mine than the materials that I had at hand. But this is what my journal looks like. It's a kind of a traveling journal. So I started making, this is the cover, and then inside would be the pages. And what I wanted to do was to make it a little bit of a theme. So I wanted to get some more pages like with inserts that relate to the theme that I want to use this traveler's journal for, which is why I haven't completed it yet. And then when I'm done, I'm going to stitch it in. But yesterday in the workshop, which we were on Zoom for about 2 hours, I made this, and it's made from a paper bag. It is a brown paper bag that we covered and made this journal. And I'm just so happy with it. I will share it more later when it's done. But I also made a second journal because that was the exercise yesterday. We made 2 journals. This was from another paper bag, a slightly bigger paper bag. And this one is a trifold. And I covered it with some artwork, and it has a calendar inside, which is a calendar from 2008, which I was recycling. And I was just so pleased with myself because the calendar from December 2008 actually has the same lineup. The dates in December 2025 and December 2008, they are the same days. So Christmas Day is on a Thursday. This year, it was also in 2008. So I had that calendar page right here, and I'm just so happy that it lined up because this is one of the journals that I'm going to complete and use in December. And I'm so excited about that. So I didn't finish them with the insert pages, like the actual journal pages, just because I'm waiting to get some more craft paper that I can use inside and make it a little bit of a theme. But I will share that with you when I'm done because, we come on here, always update you on what's going on. So that was one of the highlights of the weekend. Made my own, or started to make my own handmade journals for some of the plans for December. Because in December, we're going to be doing Vlogmas. Vlogmas returns on December 1st. And we're going to be doing Vlogmas at least until Christmas. Some people do it all the way through the end of the year. And I guess when you do that, it's not technically called Vlogmas anymore, but I would still call it Vlogmas. When I do Vlogmas all month long, I still call it Vlogmas because the 12 days of Christmas don't end on Christmas Day. They can if you want to. But the 12 days of Christmas continue until January, right? That's Three Kings Day, I think. So yeah, I'm going to be doing, my plan is to do Vlogmas throughout December. We will see how that works out. But I am starting to make some of the plans for things that I want to share with you. So anyway, said all of that, we're going to open the box. Rumi 24, Runwright Reads Girlie, are you back? I hope you're back. Let's open the package because I have to run. I must go. 3:23. I have to go in a few minutes. So let's see what's inside the box. The sticker on the box says this goes on sale on December 2nd, 2025. So let's see what it is. I always let you see it before I do. And so I'll take the paper out. I'll throw the paper on the ground so that I have something to clean up when I'm done. Ooh. Ooh. Is it multiple things? I think so. What's this? Oh, this is just cardboard, which is going to be good for my crafting. I have a lot of craft projects planned with my daughter. Okay, I'm going to close my eyes. Oh, this is a big one. This is a big book. What is this? Oh, it is Queens at War. England's Medieval Queens by Alison Weir. This is book 4 in her series that she's been doing on the medieval times. The rise of the Tudors comes to stunning life in the final volume of Alison Weir's 4-part England's Medieval Queens series, filled with dramatic true stories chronicling the turbulent reigns of the last 5 Plantagenet queens. Alison Weir, Dr. Alison Weir. She has written, this woman is so impressive. She is the New York Times bestselling author who has sold more than 3 million books worldwide. She has published 22 history books, including Eleanor of Aquitaine, The Lady in the Tower, and Elizabeth of York, and her 4-volume series, England's Medieval Queens, of which this is book 4. She has also written 16 historical novels, including her 6 Tudor Queens series, The Passionate Tudor and The Cardinal. Alison Weir. Oh, and so here's some praise on the back of the book. Some praise on the back of the book for the earlier books in the series, and I like that they have arranged them. So at the bottom, there's a title of book 1, which is Queens of the Conquest, and there are some blurbs, about book 1. Book 2 is Queens of the Crusades, and some blurbs, some reviews of book 2. And book 3, Queens of the Age of Chivalry, and some responses. Let's see. I have maybe not here. Maybe not here. One of these days we're going to get on here and we're going to work on the bookshelf. We're going to work on the bookshelf. We're going to arrange the books so that when I come in front of you, I can actually find the books that I want to tell you about. So yeah, I have another one of the books in the series, maybe 2 other books in the series, but I don't have them that I can show them to you right now. So I will later. Okay. So that was the first book in the box. Let's see. I think there's something else. What is this? Oh, Needle Lake by Justine Champagne, author of Knife River. It's a novel. It's a novel with a really pretty flowery cover. Is it a flower encased in ice? Is that possible? Okay. Rumi's back. She was feeding the cats. 2 cousins on very different sides of girlhood spend one winter together that changes both of their lives forever. 14-year-old Ida was born with a hole in her heart. Forbidden from most physical activities and considered strange by her teachers and peers, she prefers spending time alone, memorizing countries and capitals on her globe and imagining the world outside the tiny logging town of Mineral, Washington. All right, I'm going to stop here because this book is set in Washington State. I must read this book. I think this is why I requested this book from the publishers. I need to read a book from Washington State so that I can make some progress on my little graphic that I am working on, where I'm trying to read books from across the country. And so far, most of my reading has been on the East side. I only have a book from California so far. I need to read something from this side. I haven't yet read anything from Alaska, from Texas, which I think that should be easy. Yeah. So I'm going to read this. I'm actually going to read this today. I'm going to start. I have been reading some other things, and I know that trying to make progress on The Loneliness of Sonia and Sunny, but that book is almost 700 pages. I could read this. This is, oh, here's the author right here. That's Justine Champagne. This is her second novel. Her debut was Knife River. She's beautiful. She is a beautiful lady. Books. And this is short. It's only 230 something pages. So I could read this. I could read this today. I could read this today. So we're going to have, it's 3:29. We're going to have a little reading sprint just so I can start. Was there anything else in the box? No, the box is empty. I'm going to save my cardboard for some crafts. So I'm going to put this back. Whew, all of that brown paper needs to go into recycling. All right, guys. So I'm very excited that the publishers chose to send me these two books. But I'm going to start with this one right now. So please join me in a reading sprint. We're going to make 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Let's go for 10 because I need to leave. 3:29. I could read until 3:40. And I'll see how far I can get to. But I really want to start reading this because it's set in Washington. I'm being strategic now about my books. I'm not reading anything else that's set in New York City. I'm trying to read from across the country and across the world. So join me in a reading sprint. Let's see what we can read in 10 minutes. If you're reading a book, an essay, a poem, let me know in the comments. And, if you're watching this later, I hope that you'll still participate and read with me. And the book is dedicated. The dedication right here. It says for autistic girls in every place and time. That's beautiful. All right, I'm gonna read. I see you at 3:40. Okay, so on the first page, it says, at the bottom of the first page, she says, I was not to run to the bank. I was not supposed to run at all. I was born with a hole in my heart, large enough to sometimes cause me to faint. So what was in the synopsis is not a spoiler because it's right there on page 1. So that's okay. As you were. Wow. Okay. So I read up to page 23. It started on page 3, so I read about 20 pages, and it's one of those like immediately engaging books. We're reading about a girl. She is what? She 13, 14. 14-year-old Ida. She's living with her mother in a house where they have boarders that live upstairs. So they also have a store, and Ida seems to work in the store on her time off from school. And on the day when we meet her, she's introducing herself to her. She's introducing herself to the reader when a cousin arrives to spend time with them. Um, Ida is our main character, and her cousin's name is Elna. And she tells us right away about her condition, that she doesn't do a lot. She's a little different from her friends because she was born with this hole in her heart. So the doctor has restricted her physical ability or physical activity. And maybe because of that, or maybe because of the issue with her heart, she hasn't developed like some of her peers. So she's a little smaller. So she probably looks younger than her age. But she has this cousin arrive who's going to be staying with them for some time. And we're being introduced to a little bit of the dynamics in the family. There's no mention of a dad either for Ida or for her cousin, because Elna has just come from staying with her mother. Something has happened to her mother, and so now she's come to stay with this extended family. So I think it's going to be a little bit about the dynamics between these two cousins, where one is a little older and has just seen a lot more of the world than the one who is supposed to be the main character. And Ida also tells us right away that something has happened, that something tragic has happened in their community, and it happens just around the time the cousin arrives. So whether or not those two things are related, we're going to see. I'm intrigued. I will continue to read this. When I go out later, I will take this with me. I'll take this with me to my appointments. I'll take this when I go pick up my daughter. I'll see how much of this I can read, and I'll report back when we meet tomorrow. So thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for spending a little time with me. Thank you for going through the list with me. Would love to hear from you if you were watching this live, or if you watch this later as a recording. Oh, I missed your comment, Sharon. I'm seeing it now. Sharon said, I like it. Speculative fiction that seems not so speculative now. Which book was that we were talking about? Let me see. It wasn't Good Dirt, was it? No, because your Good Dirt comment was after that. And I don't know. I can't go back. Why can't I go back? But thank you for your comment. Sorry, I didn't see it earlier. I'm gonna have to run though. But yeah, when we come back tomorrow, and I'll plan to come on here maybe a little earlier tomorrow so we can do a little talking. Um, I'll tell you more about this book. Hopefully, maybe by then I would have finished it and I can give you a full review. But Needle Lake by Justine Champagne, and it's set in Washington State. So if you, like me, are looking to cross off some additional states, if you've been doing a Read Across the Country challenge in 2025 and you're looking for a book that's set in Washington State, this is it. This is one, and it's short. It's just about 230 pages, so it might be an easy, quick read. As we are approaching the end of the year. So we also went through a little bit of book lists, and right now it's not looking good for me, not looking good in terms of the number of books that I have read that are appearing on these lists. Because, when you're reading through the year and you're picking up a lot of new releases, you're thinking, okay, these are the buzzy books, these are the books that people are going to be mentioning. But at the end of the year, if the books that you are reading that are new releases are not appearing on these lists, then you could just as easily not be able to do so well with these book lists if you're one of those people who like to check off how many of the books on the list you've read, which is something I enjoy doing. So I say all that to say we will attack another list maybe tomorrow, and we'll see maybe if we do better, maybe if I do better, because you may have gotten like a lot. Let's see if I do better on the next list. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day, rest of your evening, rest of your night, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. If you're reading, I hope you're enjoying it. If you're doing other things, I hope you enjoy that too. And I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, happy reading. Rumi24 Runwright Me's Girlie says, I was looking for my book and I couldn't find it. I'm sorry, but I'll read when I find it. Yeah. Me too. I'll read when I find the time. So see you later. See you tomorrow. Bye.